Hello everyone and welcome to the Good Old Gamer. So this is not the video that I was planning on making here today. I did a custom build PC, but this has been a very busy weekend and this just kind of came to me. So I was like, let's chat about this. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit about the ZEN4 launch and how does this actually really impact things. A lot of people are very passionate on one side of the argument and one side of the other, but I was just walking my son and I realized this has almost no impact at all on people that just want to go ahead and buy some hardware and play PC games. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today in this video. So if you guys hadn't seen the video from a few weeks ago, I did a video on my personal gaming PC, which I dubbed the Good Old GameMAXX, as in my opinion, it offers the best price to performance components from CPU, GPU, and everything that's out on the market right now for a gaming PC build. Now, over the past few weeks, I've obviously been gaming on this. When my son sleeps, that's what I do. I sit in the living room when I'm not working. Just go ahead and play some games. And every single game that I go ahead and throw at it is hitting that 144, 120 FPS target on my LG OLED, no problem. So this really dawned on me. Like I said, I was just walking my son. So I'm like, everybody's getting in a tizzy about, ZEN4, it's going to be faster, or Raptor Lake's going to be faster, or Alder Lake's going to be faster. When at the end of the day, we already have $99 CPUs, that's pretty much covering the entire 144 hertz market on down. Now, granted, if you're somebody out there that's like, I have 240 hertz, 360 hertz, or you're looking at that 500 hertz and display, and you need to run those frame rates, and you want 1% lows matching your refresh rate, you're going to need the fastest thing on the planet. Maybe ZEN4 will do that for you. I really think you're going to have to wait for ZEN4 3D, but regardless, there's different products for you. The overwhelming majority of people, though, I just don't think it's going to matter. So that then comes back to the whole thing, like, does ZEN4 really make any difference? And when you think about it, starting at $299, and honestly, no, it's just not going to push down the prices in a segment that much lower. So it's like, okay, this has virtually no impact on the segment of the market that I'm very interested in. And honestly, most of you guys are gaming at 144 hertz displays on down. So this does almost nothing for you when you really take a step back. Sure, you can spend more money, give AMD more money for a new platform, buy expensive DDR5 for theoretical more performance, but if you're running a 144 hertz display, you're not even going to be able to see it. You might be able to feel it a little bit on your 1% lows and stuff on, the input delay, but once again, that's for competitive gamers. In reality, you should have a 240 hertz display anyway, if that's your primary gaming thing. So I was just like, yeah, it just doesn't matter. And I wanted to do this video to kind of take a step back and be like, guys, it's okay for these products to exist. I think Celso from Cortex did a really good job trying to explain this. He just didn't come out and kind of slam people over the heads with it when he basically said that these are just not meant for gaming. ZEN4 is just not a gaming CPU. It's meant for people that want to do creation work and other things like that. That's the target for this product. It's not really designed just for gaming, and that makes a lot of sense when you think about it, when a $100 or $150 CPU is really what most gamers really need anymore. So I was like, oh, well, when you look at it from that lens, you could be very excited for this. And if you are in that particular category where you do a lot of creation work or just workflows that require a lot of CPU grunt, I can understand being very excited for ZEN4. 16 cores with much higher clock frequencies, a little bit higher IPC. I do think AMD massaged their numbers a bit and showed you best case scenario, not average. But regardless, it'll be a nice uplift over what they currently offer and could save you a lot of time. And in reality, if you're building a workstation machine, these aren't that expensive for that particular use case. So when we look at it from just the pure gaming perspective, which is what I do on this channel, I just try to show you guys the best value at every single price point. It's a nothing burger, guys. So why are we getting all in a tizzy about this? I don't really know. The fact that AMD is not competing in the $100 to $200 market, that's a shame. I really wish that they would, but they haven't for a while now. Not since they did the 3300X, which was really good with Zen 2. But even that, they just launched, I don't know, 1 or 2 shipments of it, and they went away. So in reality, AMD is just simply not interested in that market, which, a lot of people be like, Chris, you're turning into an Intel fanboy. Intel's the only one that's really offering options in these particular price points. I mean, if we're being honest here, AMD does have the Ryzen 5600, which is a nice competitor to the 12100, but the 12100 was held back by the more expensive B660 motherboards. As of now, we can now get decent B660 motherboards, at least here in the United States, for also under $100. This ASRock Pro RS board here is basically what I have with the Steel Legend version, just a little less flashy, but it's only $90. So you're talking about a $99 CPU plus a $90 motherboard plus $80 Samsung B-Die Patriot Viper sticks, and you got yourself a very nice platform. And in reality, you can build yourself a solid gaming PC that will handle 144 FPS on down, no problem, and not a single component besides the GPU will cost you more than $100. In my opinion, that's great. I think we have the most opportunity to extract the most amount of value out of our hardware at this point in time, mostly due to the fact that software just isn't keeping pace and hardware has completely outpaced it. But hey, like I said, you can pair a $99 CPU with a $1,000 graphics card. If you're running 4K, that's going to be perfectly fine. And even if you're running 1440p, you're still going to get that 144 hertz out of it. So yeah, I think that we just need to take a step back, recognize that ZEN4 is, maybe they're marketing it towards gamers because they know gamers are just kind of strange and will overbuy on things that they don't really need. Which, you know, good on AMD. AMD's marketing game has definitely stepped up. But you don't need any of this stuff, guys. The overwhelming majority of you guys do no productivity. I polled my community, which is mainly PC enthusiasts. Only 25% of you guys actually do any sort of work on your PC that is more demanding than gaming. So, you know, for like Microsoft Word, Photoshop, even video editing, 12100 is going to have no problems with any of that. So the only real reason why you would need it's for like heavy calculations. Maybe you're doing 4K professional video editing, things of that nature. Maybe you need more, but you're in a different category and you're a very small minority. For the overwhelming majority of people that just want to play video games, I can't stress enough how insane it is that nowadays I can just say, yeah, just buy a $100 CPU with a $90 motherboard with $80 worth of RAM, and you're good to go. You can play virtually any game at 120 FPS or better. The only exceptions to this would be something like RPCS 3. In my own tests, we found that we did fall short of that 60 FPS mark on the 1% lows. However, at 53, 54 FPS, with VRR, it would still give you an acceptable experience. I was playing it, and I was like, this is good. You know, it's not as good as like on my 12600K or something like that, but it's good enough, and in my living room, I just didn't really care. VRR kicks in, it works just fine. So it's not like I'm going to be able to hit 120 FPS on a 12600K, so it's not like next tier level. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely some caveats to it, but at the same time, for most people, like I said, if you have a 144 hertz display or lower, well, you don't need any of this stuff. So why are we all getting angry and upset with each other? You know, we have to recognize who these products are really targeted at and just buy according to your own personal needs. Now, if you want to spend a bunch of money on a Zen 4 CPU that you don't actually need because you want to test it or play with it or you just want the thing, that's fine. Go for it. Have fun. You know, enjoy it. But you should recognize that you're just buying it not for a actual reason. And there's going to be a lot of people that do that. The problem is when they try to justify it. It's like, I need it because I need 270 FPS in my video game. It's like, what's your refresh rate on your monitor? Well, I got 144 or 165 hertz. Okay. Well, it helps with the input delay. Okay. So you're spending money on something that you can't even visually see. So, all right, whatever. Those people are just trying to justify their purchases. Those are the types of people that hopefully this will help wake them up. That's what this video is for. It's like, don't worry about it. If you just want to blow money on stuff, that's cool. But this is also to help somebody who's just getting into PC gaming. And maybe they're like, oh, I need to buy a 16 core because some tech tuber told me that's what you need to play video games. It's 100% wrong. In all honesty, the 12100 is going to beat a 5950X in most games. So that doesn't make any sense. What you really just need is the fastest single thread performance that you can get. The only thing right now that's currently out that's faster would be the K SKUs, the higher clock frequency and higher cache on the higher end Alder Lake chips, or the upcoming Zen 4s. But in reality, like I said, unless you need that super high performance gaming for competitive nature, I mean, what's really the point here? What's even more interesting is not even just current gen platforms. Every platform over the past few years supports higher core counts. So let's say games do require higher core count CPUs in the future. It's one of the big arguments against the 12100. It's only a quad core. It does the job, and it does it better than most 8 and 16 core CPUs. So yeah, I mean, you're better off buying that than, let's say, like a Zen 2 16 core. Even a Zen 3 16 core is probably going to lose to a 12100 most of the time. I hate to be that guy, but it's true. So core count doesn't really matter here today. In the future, it might. But you can just throw on an 8-core or 6-core later on if needed. So you might get 2-3 years out of your quad core, and then you just spend $100, $200, because they'll be cheaper by then, on a 6 or an 8-core, and poof, you're good to go. What happens when you need higher single thread, so higher frequency and higher IPC? Well, more than likely, you're going to need a new platform anyway. By the time Alder Lake single thread is no longer going to be good, you're probably talking like 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road into the PlayStation 6 generation, to be sure. And at that point in time, you're going to need to buy a new motherboard and everything anyway, and you've already gotten many years out of your system. So unless games just become massively more CPU demanding out of the blue for no reason, I think everybody's going to be pretty good. So I just wanted to do this video to kind of put things back in perspective. There's many options out there. You can buy whatever you want, have fun, enjoy it. If you just want to tinker, go ahead and do so. But you don't need it. Most of you guys don't need it. Just look at your monitor. That is your biggest limitation. And if you're sitting there with less than 144 hertz display, maybe it's time to upgrade that. Maybe it's time to go ultra wide. Instead of buying Zen 4, get you that ultra wide you've always wanted. You can get 3440 by 1440 ultra wides, 144 hertz. They're $350 now. 1440p 144s, they're $250 regularly now. 1080p 144s, they're like $150 now. And then if you want 4K, those are $500. So much more reasonable than they used to be. Or maybe you do want to get into that super high refresh rate game. You can get 240 hertz displays. Those are $250. $350 gets you 360 hertz. Maybe you should start with the monitor and see what makes the most sense for you, then buy the hardware that will then drive the monitor. I think that that's probably the best way to go. I've talked about it a little bit before. I know Cortex over at, or Celso from Cortex has talked about it. Connor at Graphically Challenged, he's been talking about this a lot too. He's starting a monitor channel because that's the more interesting part. Very budget hardware can run today's gaming software, no problem. It's the monitor that's your main limitation. So I would recommend maybe going that route, or if you're very happy with what you have, just keep it and it's okay. So, alrighty guys, hopefully this is a more common sense take on the situation. This is, it kind of explains why I'm not really excited for Zen 4, because it just doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's not going to be providing enough value to change the game. Zen 4 3D will be very good and be for the people that want the 240, 360, 500 hertz. That's just not out yet. So those guys need to wait. And then everybody else, you just have better options. If you're 144 hertz on down, save the money, enjoy it, just play the games, spend the extra money on games, and instead of spending time tinkering, enjoy it, or go outside. You know, here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're heading into autumn time. It's gonna start getting cold. Enjoy the beautiful weather instead of, you know, sitting in a bio screen. That's my main takeaway from this video. Just have fun with it, spend the least amount of money possible, and yeah, get what you want, be happy. Just be happy, guys. Let's stop being miserable about this stuff. Alrighty, guys, if you found this video useful, please smash that like button. Please subscribe. Please share with friends. That really helps out. And maybe this will talk some people off the ledge, you know, that are like, I need to have a 16 core to run CSGO or something that, you know, is a complete lie and is going to do nothing for them. Maybe we can talk some of those people down, all right? But alrighty, guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.